there's still a lot of indications that they're looking at Michigan as well. TJ, let us know what's kind of happened the last couple of days through the official visit that he took.
Yeah, so we all know, I tried to let you guys know Bryce is going on an official visit. We knew this, but a lot of people, when they see pictures of your favorite prospect at another school, they don't like it, man. They don't, and I get it. It does suck. It's like seeing the girl you're dating walking with another dude or some shit. So I get it. We don't like it. But so here's the deal on how this went down. So LSU feels like they did really well on the official visit. But I personally am surprised at the lack of noise coming out of this weekend. Now, LSU is quietly confident that they were able to stop any momentum Michigan was making, which they were. And now what we have to do as fans, and this is the reality of recruiting, we have to allow the official visit glow to go away. And it will in about 3-4 days, maybe by the weekend. It's the high goes down because you're now no longer there. You're back in reality. You're back in Michigan. Guess what? Michigan's going to come knocking again. And his family is still open to Michigan. So here's the good news, boys and girls. The Michigan manifesto is at work. If we look at page 535, Operation Keep Bryce Home, which if you have the copy of the manual like we do, you would know this. Stallions is now coaching Bryce Underwood, and we know this. Now, is Stallions going to be recruiting him every single day? No, but there is a Michigan influence. He, from my understanding, has conversations with Bryce about Michigan from time to time. Now, it's not all the time, but it's funny, and it's an interesting little card up our sleeve that we have Connor Stallions literally with Bryce Underwood all the time now. The thing that's very interesting to me, John, about Bryce Underwood right now, and for those who don't know, Bryce Underwood has removed all LSU representation from his game day outfit. He took the sticker off of his helmet. He no longer wears the LSU cleats. Well, I'll tell you guys, if I was a kid and I wanted to go to a school, I wouldn't be taking off the sticker and I wouldn't be taking off the cleats. Now, granted, and I will let you guys know because I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to just keep it very honest with you. And I will give you an update on my prediction percentage and where I think this lands right now. But I find it very interesting that he has removed all that. And his cleats, he's not wearing his LSU cleats either during game days. As we spoke about with the new NIL campaign with passes, they are a part of the Bryce Underwood focus to keep him home. And as Lucy spoke about on Sam Webb's interview today, and if anyone has not seen the interview, shout out to Sam Webb, obviously the king of interviews for Michigan. She talked about it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for Bryce Underwood to come to Michigan because the amount of money that not only he's going to make in his NIL deal, but the additional marketing money, jersey sales, things like that are going to come his way if he does come to Michigan. And these are the things being pushed at him. And this is why his family is listening. And they are. Michigan's going to continue to work to flip him. And now that the official visit is done, we are now in closing time. There's only a few weeks left until National Signing Day. He is an early enrollee, so he's not going to be waiting to the second signing period. One of the big hurdles for Michigan, I guess two, is our offense and our offensive coordinator. These are hurdles, and these are things that makes Bryce Underwood's camp hesitant about Michigan. And it is the play on the field. It is the offensive play structure. And this is what makes LSU very appealing outside of he does enjoy LSU for the atmosphere, the way that their program is focused on being a power offense that really spotlights the quarterback, as we've seen with Jaden Daniels, right? So with all of that said, and I also want to say Michigan is expected to make a change at offensive coordinator. I just want to from my understanding, there is an expectation that there will be a new offensive coordinator, and that may have a great impact on the outcome of this recruitment. So now, but here's where that gets very interesting. The end of the season and National Signing Day are not that far apart. So Michigan has to move extremely quickly. They need to pull a USC Lincoln Riley. Now, I'm not saying new head coach. I'm saying essentially a major move to make a swing. And that is something that I think I can't confirm that, but that is something I believe is going to be attempted. I think it will be. It's the only way I see it actually occurring in a good outcome for Michigan. But that said, so as you guys know, I've had a confidence level of 65% for Bryce Underwood. Okay. I am going to be lowering my confidence from 65 to 49. I am right now currently in LSU favor. I think LSU has Michigan was making a lot of momentum, more than I think people realize. Bryce almost didn't go on his visit, guys. That's how serious it was getting. He almost didn't go on the visit, but he did go on the visit. This is why Sloan came the week prior. Just so you guys want to know why. Why would Sloan come to Michigan to view a game with Bryce Underwood if he's going to see him in 1 week? Because he wanted to make sure Bryce went on this visit, because there was an attempt from Michigan to not have him get on this visit. And I'm going to let you guys know it was considered. It was considered. So that is something I don't think a lot of people are quite aware of. Also, as I said, I lowered my confidence level from 65 to 49, but here's the good news, guys. There's still time, and Underwood and his camp have not shut down the recruitment. If they wanted nothing to do with Michigan, guys, they would shut it down. They have not. They are still listening. Michigan's still in the game. Okay. I'm sure everyone saw the Lions Houston Texans Sunday night game. You could be down freaking 14 or 17 points, whatever the hell it was, and you could come back and pull it off, right? It's possible, but it's up to Michigan to figure it out. And in my opinion, a very critical play that Michigan needs to make is an offensive coordinator change that can impress Bryce enough to flip to Michigan. That's my opinion.
So we appreciate obviously the intel, the updates, and yeah, I'm gonna stick with my coin flip. I'm gonna stay 50 for now. Cautiously optimistic, but also knowing that LSU made up a little bit, as any time, like this happens every single time you go on an official visit and you're committed. Like there is that aspect. But I will say everything you just said, TJ, the fact that they did consider not, that's great. I also do think that the fans coming out, showing out, at these games, it's a thing. It does matter. It's definitely a thing.
Nothing. It's not nothing. I guess. Let me just say, is it going to be the absolute change, or is it going to be the absolute thing that swings the recruit? No, but it does not hurt. They actually think it's cool. They think it's really cool that Michigan is supporting them like this already. So we'll see. Hailgate again. Shout out to them, man. They're going to be doing it again. So I respect that. And obviously we hope we can get a bunch of tickets and maze it out. But yeah, so that's where we are with the Bryce Underwood situation. It's not over, and we will obviously stay up to date with it. We will let you guys know where it is, where we stand, and the reality of the recruitment, like we have brought to you. And John, I just want to give a shout out to a few people, because on social media, I've had people literally reach out to me and say, look, man, I started following you during the beginning of this Bryce Underwood thing. You guys have brought a lot of accuracy to it, and we're not selling anything to you. We're not guaranteeing you an outcome. We are just telling you the pulse of the recruitment, where it stands, and how it's going down behind the scenes. Some of the things that are not being said publicly. Now granted, I don't know every detail, but what we do know, we bring to the table.
So before we move on to Derek Meadows, there's a couple of Underwood related super chats, and also Moose, longtime friend of the network, moderator, everything else. Throw the Moose emoji, folks. Moose has just gifted 5 Michigan at Voice of College Football memberships. Thank you, Moose. Matt Miller, host of the Texas show at the Voice of College Football, he's got a membership. R. Duffy's got a membership. Mars got a membership. LW, and Michael Joseph Murray, who I've seen all over Twitter, is listening in and got a 30 free days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership. So thanks to Moose and everybody who got that.
Yeah, welcome to the community.
Absolutely. Nick with the 2. Give Bryce Nick again as associate director of the NIL recruiting initiative. Give Bryce $30 million and a deal with Leaf and Bud. So there you go.
Nick, we got to get you in contact with Lucy and Jared Wagner, and we got to make things happen. You got some great ideas, bud. You got some great ideas.
These are top notch ideas. Julius with the 5. What are the chances that Bryce, his parents, and agent are leveraging Michigan and giving Michigan attention to get a higher payout from LSU? Great question, Julius.
100% a realistic possibility. Mm-hmm. I mean, agents, this is their job. Their job is to use multiple options to raise the price. There's no doubt about that. That's a possibility. That said, Michigan feels like it's not a leverage game, because here's one thing that we know. I know, and you know. When Michigan feels like they're in a leverage recruitment and they're being used, they hop out of it. So they don't typically play that game. They only maintain these types of recruitments if they feel like it's mutual interest and it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. So, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that the agent whose job is to do this is not doing this. It's a potential possibility. And you know what? If his agent is doing it, then he's doing his damn job. Like, quite frankly.
Really good job. Yeah.
Unfortunately, if that is the case.
Well, and look, this is what happens in high-profile negotiations, and it's what happens at every single level, from NFL coaches, college.
Yeah, we just lost John. So, but what I was going to say was regarding this super chat is that we know that LSU is planning to counter, and they probably did this weekend. By the way, I would expect that would be when they countered LSU. We knew that LSU was rumored to they were gathering resources to counter Michigan's NIL deal. That said, it is widely believed, and I can't confirm this fully because I'm not aware of LSU's counter, but the belief was that even LSU's counter is not going to match Michigan's. They're not in the position liquid wise to match Michigan cash wise, right? So they are an asset rich school in terms of houses and cars and things of that nature, jobs for family members, things like that. But in terms of liquid cash, they are not on Michigan's level right now. So that is the belief. But I don't know what the counter was. I would fully expect that counter or that their pitch was given to him this weekend at LSU. I would assume so. That's what I would do if I was them. Yeah, for sure.
Folks, I am on Ethernet. I am on Hardwire, and even now, Verizon is likes to give me a blip every now and then. So apologies for that, but very exciting. That look, at least Bryce is listening to Michigan. He's considering it. This was thought of as not even in the universe of a possibility. What, like a month ago, 2 months ago? It was like, he's going to LSU. It's not even in the radar. Like, there has been a lot of movement in the last 2 months to he's at least thinking about it. Like, that is a movement.
John, I sent you a text from my guy that said, because I asked him, it was like around October 10th or 11th or whatever. It was right when Sam's post came out. Because we were already covering it before that, and we were talking about how the donors were aggressive and applying pressure to the Underwood thing. And I sent a text to my guy, and I sent it to John. I even read it to shout out to our members only chat. You guys would know because I read the text there. But essentially, I was told that at that point, early October, I'd say October 10th or 11th, around there, I asked him, is the buzz real? Like with the Underwood situation, I was told, we are in the quote, we are in a far better position now than we were 2 months ago. So that was from the mouth of my guy. So, yeah, I mean, no doubt Michigan has made a aggressive aggressive move here to at least get the interest of Underwood. And then 2, Ramez's super chat here, $5 super chat. Thank you, Ramez. TJ, can you list the reasons why Bryce doesn't take an official visit to Michigan, even for the sake of it? Yeah, we have covered it, but I have no issue. We'll hit on it. The reason why his family and camp are coming to Michigan, which they did 2 weeks in a row, right, is because Underwood has already been here multiple times. And he doesn't feel like he needs to see anything he hasn't seen. Now, granted, the new locker rooms would be one thing he has not seen that is different. But outside of the new locker rooms, he has already been all over the camp. Like, he's been all over the camp. He's 20 minutes away. And here's another reason why. The other reason why he does not come is because there are meetings outside of Ann Arbor that take place with Underwood. It's just not on campus. Like, Michigan has that ability to coordinate dinners and things of that nature with the Underwood family. So there are, from my understanding, there have been off-campus meetings or sit-downs or whatever you want to call it that have occurred in this time period recently. So, and even a little bit before the buzz got really big. So, again, Underwood is not shutting down the recruitment. Michigan's still in play. They're not giving up at all. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see if Michigan can pull it off. Let's see if Michigan can get an offensive coordinator that can do enough to, intrigue him to flip to us.
For sure. Wolverine Casual with the 5. Does it matter getting an answer sooner than later from Bryce Underwood to free up that money for other recruiting pursuits? And let me say this before you answer, TJ. I do think that that other quarterbacks are going to stand up and take notice that Michigan is playing ball no matter what. This has to be a positive indicator for any elite level or top level quarterback to consider Michigan, both in the recruiting classes, but also in the portal. When $5 to $10 million is being thrown around and discussed, it's clear that that's going to spark interest, no matter how this goes with Bryce.
Yeah. So regarding the money that's allocated to Bryce Underwood, there is another fund that is for recruiting that is very flush with cash. We are fine. We're not limited. We are not limited. I'm sure you guys saw Michigan's attempt at Littleton, which we will talk about. You saw them swing and get Shamari Earls. You saw them recently land Babaloa, the highest rated offensive lineman ever for Michigan. We are financially in a fine position. Now, granted, if we do swing and miss with Bryce Underwood, I fully expect a fair sum of that money to be allocated in the portal to fill the gap. And I do anticipate Michigan to land some form of prospect in the 25 class. We'll see. I don't know who it is yet because they put out a bunch of scholarship offers, and I do know they're in contact with quite a few, but nothing is imminent. Nothing is warm. It's almost like it's just a feeler. They're really all in on Bryce Underwood. We'll see if it pays off.
Absolutely. Adam Lamparello, host of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights live show here at the Voice of College Football Network, throwing a 20 burger at us. And I can see where he's coming from here. Michigan must absolutely get Miller Moss. He is the perfect fit for Michigan, as is Jimmy Rogers back again. The next head coach at Michigan. Jimmy, he is on the Jimmy Rogers train, and if that winds up happening, we're gonna have to do something special for Adam.
We have to. We have to. We have to. Actually, what we would do, here's what we would do. If Michigan, let's just say this. So, Adam, hear me out here. If Michigan does get Jimmy Rogers, which I'm not a believer that that's going to happen at least this year, then when that announcement happens, we'll have you on the live stream with us. You can help break it down with us. That's what we'll do.
Sounds like a plan.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And then regarding Miller Moss, it's coming. I got some information for you. We'll talk about it once we get to the portal aspect of the recruiting segment.
Absolutely. But we do have some more updates for the 2025 class. So Elijah Dotson, Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng, and Alex Graham
Oh, and Derek Meadows. Did we skip Derek Meadows?
Oh, we did. Okay, so before we get to those, let's give an update on 4-star wide receiver, former 5-star, still a very high 4-star wide receiver, Derek Meadows, and what he might be considering. Because I heard, is there like a little rumbling about Notre Dame entering into the mix here?
Yeah, so there is a strong feel that Meadows is not going to be at LSU. Now, granted, as it currently stands, the way his recruitment is trending is he will not be at LSU. That said, he will be visiting LSU November 30th. So him fading away could change with that official visit on the 30th. So we will see. The belief is this, though. If Underwood comes to Michigan, Meadows is coming to Michigan. Book it. Notre Dame insiders are saying the same exact thing, by the way. Notre Dame, the people who cover Notre Dame are saying the exact same thing that we have also been aware of, that if Underwood does come to Michigan, which Meadows did visit last weekend, because it's not real. I want to say it is not real. It is real. Things are very real. Like, it's not. This is why I don't believe it's just a leverage play. We were asked about that before, because there's a lot of things that make it seem like it's not. Why would Meadows come up here if it's just a leverage? Like, there's actual legit. And not only that, Meadows came up here on his own dime. It wasn't an official visit. Like, he literally came up here to check it out because how serious the conversations have been with Underwood, and Underwood would like to play with Meadows if he comes to Michigan. So that is why. So if Underwood does not come to Michigan, though, the likely landing spot for Meadows is Notre Dame. And he just did a visit with Notre Dame this past weekend. And by all accounts, it was a very good visit. But as I mentioned previously, it really hangs on Meadows. It really hangs on Underwood. If Underwood does come to Michigan, he's going to be a Wolverine. If Underwood doesn't come to Michigan, he's likely going to end at Notre Dame. Obviously, the November 30th visit matters, but I would still say if Underwood comes to Michigan, Meadows is coming to Michigan. But we'll see. We'll keep our ears to the ground on that one as well. We'll figure it out, and we'll keep you guys updated as it goes. Another name we will definitely pay attention to.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, and then the next player we're going to cover, John, is Elijah Dotson, who was Bryce Underwood's teammate, who was sporting the Michigan gloves in his game Friday night. This is still trending Michigan. It's trending even more Michigan, especially with the Ivan Taylor news, which we will get into. We will talk about Ivan Taylor and Grayson Littleton in a little bit. There is a strong confidence out of Ann Arbor that Elijah Dotson is going to be becoming a Wolverine, soon. So we will see. We'll see when that happens. I would think not in the too distant future, but you never know. Sometimes kids wait it out. National Signing Day is not too far away. We'll see when that comes to fruition. Now on to the next one. I know our boy Moose is waiting for this one.
Oh,
his guy.
Oh yeah,
Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng, which we have his huddle tape here. This is the big dog. This is the linebacker that we are chasing aggressively, and you will see in his highlight tape. This kid is a dog. Yeah, get out of my face. That kid's a rag doll. He's not a rag doll. This is a man amongst boys.
Certified dog.
Yeah, he's a certified dog. He's here to break people. So Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng, as we know, he visited Michigan last weekend, not this weekend, but the weekend prior, and that visit went amazing. Well, this past weekend, he visited Notre Dame. And here's what's very interesting about that, John. It didn't go good.
Uh-oh.
It did not go good. He did not have a good visit at Notre Dame, the legacy school of his brother. The word is out of Notre Dame, South Bend, or wherever the hell that nasty school plays, that he did not enjoy himself that weekend. It was not, they said out of his previous visits that he just was not into it. He was not as into it, as happy. He didn't seem to enjoy it as much. And I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, the reason why that probably was the case is because I think he is really feeling Michigan. And there was a strong belief that going into that weekend, Michigan was the leader. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that I feel confident that Michigan, for sure, no question, is the leader for Nathan Owusu-Boateng, and Michigan is pushing very hard here. The other team to watch, though, right now in this recruitment is Colorado. But I'm going to be honest, if anyone looks at Colorado's class, it is awful. It's ranked like 79th in the nation. There's only like 10 commits. You never know, but I don't believe Michigan's going to get out NIL'd here either. So I'm feeling very good about this Owusu-Boateng recruitment as it stands. And it's something I think we can definitely look forward to here. We'll monitor it. I'm not guaranteeing the outcome here, but I said on my last recruiting update, John, I was close to a lock then. I mean, I'm actually probably closer now, but I feel like he's going to be a Michigan Wolverine. Now we'll see. I don't think Notre Dame's the threat anymore. I think Colorado, if there is a threat, it's Colorado. But even so, I think Michigan's kicking ass with this one.
If Colorado is the biggest threat, then I would call this a lock. If Colorado, because here's why. Here's why. Okay, look, I understand that Colorado has improved this year. Their schedule's not great, but they've improved. But you have to remember that their best players are gone next year. They're going to have like nobody in that. It's going to be a bunch of Panera Breads going on in there. And so when you pair that with the NIL differential, even with, look, Coach Prime, he's got his connections to advertisers and to money. He's got his connections, but Michigan's just playing at another level in all of these areas. Yeah. And so I think if all Michigan has to say is they look at, yes, they look pretty decent this year. Look at what they were last year, and look at what they're going to be next year when all their people go to the NFL.
Absolutely. So we'll see where that one goes. Very intriguing recruitment for sure. The next one is Michigan's own Alex Graham, the 4-star defensive back. This is an interesting recruitment. Michigan has been in this recruitment for quite a while. He did go down to IMG. He's back up. He's back up in the state of Michigan right now. Michigan wanted to see if he could stay healthy. He is staying healthy. He is playing well. I believe, and this isn't just a me opinion, there's a strong belief here that if we lose Grayson Littleton to Texas, which we will talk more about that once we get into flip candidates, I believe the focus is going to be 100% on Alex Graham. And I think Alex Graham is a high likelihood of landing in the class this year. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, he's a very good player. Alex Graham's a very good player. Somebody that we'll cover probably more. I expect the one thing I do know. So this is another one that's interesting. I believe Colorado is also in the Alex Graham, and Illinois. I think it's Illinois and Colorado who are in the Alex Graham battle. And here's what I do know about Illinois. They are offering a large NIL package for Alex Graham. So that is interesting. We'll see what comes of it. But Michigan is definitely, it is my belief the kid actually wants to go to Michigan. So I think, I think if, the other defensive back that Michigan's in on that I didn't anticipate talking about, but I'll just mention it real quick, is Brandon Finney. That one's looking like Penn State. That's the kid who's committed to Oregon. I know Michigan is involved there, but I just feel like that's going to be trending to Penn State, which is why I haven't really brought it up much. But he's a top 100 player, very good player. But I don't know if I see that going Maize and Blues' way. But to our next, unless you want to hit on that, John. Yep. To our next recruits, we got Grayson Littleton and Ivan Taylor. Grayson Littleton, there are some people out there who think this is over. It's done. A crystal ball was put in place for Texas. It's game over, John. It's not game over.
Not so fast, everybody.
Yeah. Michigan is still involved here. He is not, from my understanding, he is not in the position where he is going to make a decision just yet. He's going to think about his options, and it's going to go from there, AKA negotiations are probably commencing very hard right now, but for both schools, likely what that means. We'll see where it goes. Michigan is not done fighting. I guess that's where I'm at. Michigan is not done fighting here. They want Grayson Littleton in the class. So let's keep our ear to the ground here and see what comes of it, John. But it is not, we are not conceding to Texas just yet. They did get the most recent visit, but I'm telling you guys, the post official visit glow is a thing, and that shit does wear off. It's like it lasts for about a week, and then you're back to reality and you're back to business. So we'll see where it goes. If Littleton does not make a decision, that's better for Michigan, because Michigan had the lead coming out of their official visit. Texas just had theirs. The longer it goes, I actually feel the better for Michigan. If he was to announce his commitment this week, I'd be like, all right, we're probably taking an L here. but from my understanding, he's not. He's going to let it play out a little bit, so we'll see where that one goes. And then on to Ivan Taylor. This is the one who had the most wanderingness eye of them all, John. I don't know if that was a word, but I made it a word. Unfortunately, Ivan Taylor has been predicted to finally flip to Alabama. And I do not have good news here. It is a strong likelihood this is done. It will happen this week, from my understanding. Be on the lookout to lose Ivan Taylor. The positive is this, though. Elijah Dotson plays the same position. And this is Bryce Underwood's teammate. And this kid is also highly ranked 4-star, not to the level of Ivan Taylor. He is an athlete. He is a strong player. It's not like we are losing a player and not getting a talent coming. Right. We did see the Ivan Taylor one was probably the most obvious of them all. Some would argue Andrew Olish, but Andrew Olish was very interesting, which I actually didn't plan on talking about him, but I guess I'll just hit on it real quick, John.
Sure.
For Andrew Olish, right now, we are in a Oregon, Notre Dame, who we just visited this weekend, and Penn State battle. Even with all of that, and he is taking the different visits, and he did visit Alabama, but even Oregon, they think it'd take a lot to get him to flip from Michigan. He really does like Michigan, but granted, this kid's looking around, and all it takes is a phone call. So it's something we're going to have to monitor. And like I've mentioned before, the announcement for the notice of allegations next month is actually a big deal to his family. And I believe Andrew Olish is going to wait for that to become public before he makes any true decisions. If it's a nothing burger, which we feel it will be, not much at all, quite honestly. Will there be some form of punishment? Yes. Will it be to the degree that the hammer fetish folk are out there dreaming and want it to be? No. You fairy tale believers, you nutty nuts. But anyway, point being is, if it does turn out to be good for Michigan, I think Andrew Olish remains in the class. If it is something more, and it is a wet dream for our Ohio State Buckeye fans and those Sparties, then Andrew Olish is likely going to. I'm leaning Penn State right now. I know there's some people who believe it's Oregon. There's a belief amongst people who follow this closely that it's Oregon. I actually think Penn State's the team that's the biggest concern. And then we got one more, John.
Before we
we'll hit this. Yep.
Before we do, Nick has a super chat related to Olish.
Yeah.
And he says, sounds like Olish just wants to know who the quarterback is going to be, which that sounds reasonable to me. Like, you want to know who's going to be running the offense that you're going to be in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much the quarterback, but I will say the offense is a thing. Like, he has his outside. His parents are actually kind of public with things. They're pretty transparent. They've mentioned the offense as a concern.
Yep.
They've mentioned the notice of allegations as a concern. They are the most public about the notice of allegations. They say, look, it's something we're watching. They've said this. So, I can respect that. I'm not, I can appreciate someone being honest and transparent. That's cool. We're just going to have to let it play out and see where it goes.
For sure. And I do think, that we had been talking about Ivan Taylor. We've been talking about Olish. Ivan Taylor definitely, at least the last week or two, has felt to me like the one more likely to leave. Whereas Olish, yeah, he's listening. Yeah, he's going on visits, but he still seems pretty definitive about Michigan. So at least that's what the public view of it has been. So yeah, they've been pretty public about the offense needing work. But I still feel good for right this second. But Wolverine Casual asking a follow-up from what we just talked about with the notice of allegations. Does the notice of allegations determine what the punishment will be? Won't it just be the accusation and then punishments are handed down later?
So this is going to be Michigan's response to the notice of allegations. So what's going to happen is it's going to be public what the NCAA handed Michigan, and then we're going to get Michigan's response. This will then be public. And then I believe, John, the NCAA has 30 days to respond to Michigan's response, but it's going to become public. We're going to know a lot more in November. So that's what they're waiting for. They just want to know what the NCAA is even thinking is the proper punishment. And then Michigan will give its response. And if just so we can, because we haven't talked about it in a while, Michigan's going to respond if they find it to be a fair response from the NCAA in terms of everything, then Michigan's going to accept it and move forward. If they think it is unfair and unjust, they are planning to fight it legally. But here's the thing, though. They already know what this thing is. And from my understanding, Michigan has a quiet confidence that they're not too concerned about the outcome.
More to come. So we've got one more big discussion here. Big portal interest. Somebody who was on Jim Harbaugh's big board, very high up back in 21. USC quarterback Miller Moss, who obviously got benched at USC. Very likely to transfer after being benched from the offense, from running the offense. And he is interested in Michigan. So, TJ, let us know what's going on there.
Yeah, so he has not entered the portal yet, but he has been benched at USC. And anyone who's watched our show knows the deal. Agents have been being contacted since the end of September. Agents are feeling things out. Well, things are occurring in the sense that the smoke, there was a post by an interesting poster who I am familiar with. And the reason why I'm familiar with him is he's like a young kid who covers FAU, and he is tapped into that program. As crazy as that sounds, he is. It's weird. But he is. I don't know. He knows everything about the damn program and everything that's going on. I don't know if his dad does something there or what. I don't know. But anyways, and the reason why we know about this is because where did Dusty May come from, John? FAU. So that's how I've come across this individual. He, now granted, he put this out there last week. And I was like, well, I'm going to kind of wait on it and see, what comes about and what I hear. And word is that there is interest on Michigan's side that Miller Moss could be a potential solution in the portal. So this is, and I'm a fan of Miller Moss. Now I have read other people out there on social media be like, oh, well, Miller Moss doesn't do it for me. He's not that good. Miller Moss is actually a damn good quarterback. Lincoln Riley's actually put him in a bad position with their offensive line and the way they're doing things. And I know Adam's watching now. He could probably tell us a lot more because he's actually a USC fan as well, which is why he mentioned Miller Moss in his super chat. But the point being is Miller Moss is a very solid quarterback, very good quarterback. No question about it. Do I think Michigan's going to stop their pursuit at Miller Moss? No. What I think is truly occurring is Miller Moss is a name that is going to be on their list of potential options. And I do anticipate if Michigan swings and misses on Bryce Underwood to be a little more aggressive in this area in terms of landing a difference maker at the quarterback position. And I do find Miller Moss to be a difference maker. So we'll see. We'll see what Michigan does. Obviously, he's not in the portal yet. It is what it is. But once these kids into the portal, things will become much clearer. But Miller Moss is likely going to be a name we hear about in the future.
Yeah.
As a target.
Yeah, I think Miller Moss is absolutely somebody they should be looking at, because one thing that we absolutely cannot repeat, absolutely can't repeat, is what happened this year. So, and I think everybody knows that. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about everybody from the president to the AD to the coaches. They know that this can't be continued. So whether it's Miller Moss, whether it's John Mateer at Washington State, whether it's somebody else, they're going to get a portal quarterback. I think even if they get Bryce, I still think they're going to get a portal quarterback.
They will, but in my opinion, the caliber of quarterback changes. If you get Underwood, you don't go after. Sam disagrees. Sam Webb thinks they will. I don't think they will, and I'm aware that they're selling Underwood on playing early. So why would you go after a difference maker if you're selling Underwood on go? I don't know. So, but listen, I'm not here to challenge Sam. I'm just giving from what I know. So, I think Miller Moss is. Listen, John, let's play a game. If we had Miller Moss as our quarterback this year, what is our record? Chat, how about this? Let's let the chat also respond. Chat, if Miller Moss was Michigan's quarterback this year, everything else is the same. What is Michigan's record? I'd love to know what the chat thinks about that. Because right now, as you guys know, we are 5-5. What does our record become with a Miller Moss at quarterback?
Yeah, I'm thinking 8-2.
Yeah, I think 8-2. Now, granted, we have a coaching problem that also limits us, but I think Miller Moss makes this team far more competent. You don't lose to Washington because your offense, you definitely don't lose to Indiana. You're not scoring just 15 points.
Right.
You know?
We got everywhere from 8-2 to Nick says 10-0. So Nick believes that Miller Moss could even beat Texas. That's, hey, anything is possible with competent quarterback play that opens up the run game as well. So I'm with GT and Lance. 8-2 seems pretty reasonable. Texas and Oregon are both really good. Just really excellent teams that are going to have deep playoff runs.
I'm 8-2. I'll give it 8-2. But listen, we gave Oregon a fight. If we had a better quarterback, what is that game? I don't know. Far more interesting than it was, even though it was a pretty good game.
Yeah. GT asks, any chance we can just throw a bag at Loveland and retain the best tight end in the country for one more year?
No, because he's like your first round pick that gives him 5 years and it's guaranteed. Yeah. He's got a large guarantee with that first round pick. He's gone. And plus, if I was Loveland, GT, we love you, man. But like, if you were Loveland, would you want to come back here?
Yeah.
No, get out.
Run. He's going to be making somewhere between $8 to $10 million approximately in a signing bonus. So he's and our NIL, we could maybe get to $1 million for a player like that.
I think to be honest, the best you could offer a Loveland would be like $2 to $3 million.
That would be highest. Yeah. So your signing bonus in the NFL is going to be better than that. So there are teams that offer these kids money to not go in the draft that are in the 2 million range. Now, for example, I think actually I don't know the exact figure, but I believe it was like around 3 million or a little more that Michigan, the JJ camp wanted. I don't know. I don't know. There's a number I can't remember what it was though, so I'm gonna leave it alone. One comment I do want to highlight is Dre given some thanks for the love earlier, and everybody who can make it to that game, come on out. It sounds like it's going to be a really good game. So.
So for those who don't know, Dre is a part of Hailgate, which we talked about. That's one of our guys here. We appreciate Dre's support of the channel. We support Dre. We support Hailgate. Shout out to them. Hey, again, if you guys can make it to the game against Catholic Central this Friday, let's go. Let's let Bryce know the deal because it ain't done. It ain't over, son. So let's put the pressure on LSU because guess what? They're in Louisiana. We're in Michigan. We can actually do something about it.